All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Dose. Hope you're doing awesome. Backyard here. How about those beautiful trees? Hope your day is starting out amazing. This is episode number 31. I'm going to wait just a moment or two for anybody to jump on here. Whether you are catching this live or you're catching this on the replay, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. 31 episodes. Never thought I'd be doing a daily show, let alone it being live and on Facebook. So welcome to you. If this is your first one, this is the Daily Dose. What the heck is the Daily Dose? It is purely a daily dose of encouragement. I have a really great story for you, by the way, so you want to hang on. It's actually, it's a childhood story, and I'm really excited to share this with you. And it has to do with being stuck. And my question to you in just a moment, and if you're coming on here, you're catching this live or the replay, I would love your interaction, love your feedback, love for you if you enjoy this, if it helped encourage you, is that you share it with somebody else. And that's truly the point. And in me doing this daily dose, this daily show, is simply to provide a daily dose of encouragement. I say this with every episode, is that while we can start our days with plenty of doses of things, right? Things like stress and anxiety and frustration and not being clear on what your day is going to look like. Maybe in fear, maybe you wake up and you're getting a daily dose of fear. And I hope none of those things are true, but in case they are, I want to provide this time at 8 a.m. to give you some encouragement. And for today, I want to talk to you about being stuck. And I posted a question earlier about growth. Growth is painful. Change is painful. But nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. And isn't that the truth? So if you ever felt stuck, I sure have. And in fact, I have a really good story I want to share with you in just a moment. This is the probably most appropriate, being the middle of the week, just an appropriate message for being stuck. Because I tend to find that even though you may be stuck all the time, we're all just kind of stuck still, like not knowing when society is able to get back maybe to living, right? To get back to being able to go to restaurants, or kids back to school, or back to your job, or back to being able to go out, maybe back to hugging somebody, giving somebody a handshake. I don't know how long that's going to be, but there's like a feeling of being stuck, right? I deal with that all the time. On a side note, I am an online coach. I'm the creator of the Lean Body Breakthrough for men and women over 40, and I help them lose weight and get unstuck, and I do so without long workouts and impossible diets. So my question to you is, as far as that is, have you ever felt stuck? Like, I would love if you've ever felt stuck. Now, you don't have to divulge all of the info, but you can just hit the like. If you can hit the thumbs up if you want, put in the comments, yeah, I felt stuck. I can tell you I've definitely felt stuck more than a handful of times, more times than I care to remember. And there's this feeling of being stuck. Like, how do I get out? What do I do? It's like a deep pit to try to climb out of. And that's one of the things I want to share with you. First, a story about being stuck. And let's start there. Is, again, first knowing that true is growth is painful. Being able to grow or get out of being unstuck is painful. Change is painful. We're all experiencing it now. We're having to go through this kind of change, and it can be, painful. But nothing's as worth as being and starting to move forward than staying stuck where you're at. That's the beautiful thing, is you don't have to stay stuck. And no matter what your circumstances are, you can make the choice to change. And that can be related to a number of different things. It can be related to your health. It can be related to relationships. It can be related to your job. It can be related to your finances. It could be related to a number of things. Hey, Mike, what's going on? And Vinny, thanks for joining me. So I got to share this story with you, and it is a really, really cool story. If you're coming on, thank you for joining. Thank you. I appreciate you. Welcome. Good morning, Kim. And so the story of being unstuck and being, in a place you don't belong. So this childhood story of mine is this. So when I was a kid, this was like, I think even before, maybe 4th or 5th grade, and I had a neighborhood friend. And I don't know about you growing up, but I know for us, we didn't have phone. We had a phone, a house phone, right, with a long cord. Sorry, there's some bugs out here. We had a house phone, and that was it. Like, I think we had one TV over time, but we got outside, right? If you were a kid, chances are you went out with the neighborhood kids. And I had one neighborhood friend. He was a hot mess. I look back and now, and the destruction we've done together was actually pretty comical. Now looking back, I don't know how we lived through some of it. But one of them stories being stuck, this kid, we gotten in places where we set our backyard on fire one time. That's not even half of it. We had the fire department come to our house where our whole backyard was on fire because we decided to play with those caps, and then we started to play with matches and we started to burn things. Oh, it was we were definitely little mini arsons. But that's not the stuck part. One day, and this is appropriate, and if you look behind me, there's a fence. You see this big fence here? On the other side of that fence, there's a neighbor's dog who my dog does not like very much. And we had to put this fence in to keep the dogs from each other. But this story has to do with the fence. So we were in the back of our house. We have a water retention pond. It's one of those like wire fences that go all the way around the pond. I had to sit here because it made me think of this story. And I wanted to share this with you about thinking about being stuck somewhere you don't belong. So, my friend and I, we were playing and we knew it was cool, you know, like looking over like, oh man, we could have some fun. It was cool. There wasn't like water in it. It was like an empty kind of a pit. We were like, oh, this would be cool. Let's climb the fence and go over. And so I went over the fence, and now at the top of the fence, not like this smooth wood fence, you know, you can climb over easy if you're a kid. It was one of those wire fences. And at the top of the fence was the barbed wire that keeps, like at the top part is like 3 lines of barbed wire fence that goes across. But if you were careful enough, you know, you could, a 5th grader, you could figure out a way to climb over the fence. So I go ahead and climb the fence. You're going to hang on to the story. It's a really good one. Hey, Kim. Hey, John. Welcome. Connie. Welcome. Good morning to you. So I climb over the fence. Now, mind you, we're 4th or 5th grade. I think it was 4th grade, 3rd or 4th grade maybe. And I climb over the fence. I get over it. I got a little like stuck here and there. And then my friend goes and climbs up the fence, and he climbs and he gets over, and I kid you not, this is the funniest thing. And his pants, he had like those like corduroy pants. He had those, I remember clear as day. And he got the corduroy stuck like on his pants. And he couldn't get over to the other side. He couldn't get over. He couldn't climb over the fence. He got stuck at the top of the fence, and the barbed wire stuck him there. And not only were we like freaking out, like he was stuck, he was crying. Poor kid was crying because the barbed wire started to like get him a little bit. It wasn't like tearing him to him, but his pants, he was literally hanging from. He wasn't like, and this is, I'm not embellishing at all because my parents can tell this story. And poor Dieter, he was hanging from the fence, hanging over. And I was mad because then we couldn't go play on the other side where it was really fun. We were stuck on this fence, and we were stuck. I was on the other side. So I had to climb back over. I had to go run and get my parents. My parents came out. They were trying not to laugh. They were mad, first off, that we were climbing the fence by ourselves, climbing it over and going somewhere where we weren't supposed to go. You know, you're not supposed to go on the other side. That's why I have barbed wire on the fence. Of course, we didn't care as kids. So he got stuck. My parents helped get him down, and he was truly we were in a place that we didn't belong. And what happened? We both got stuck because we couldn't have fun. I couldn't do anything because I was like, oh yeah, what am I gonna do? Leave my friend up there? No, that's not how friends take care of each other. He was stuck literally, and it was, and not only embarrassing as a kid, my parents were mad. I think I got grounded, from that, going somewhere. There's a lot of times I got grounded. I got my butt beat a couple of times, but I definitely look back and deserved those moments. This one wasn't, and it wasn't me that got stuck. I'm glad it wasn't me that had my pants stuck on the fence. So why am I sharing that with you? Why do you want to hear this story? So the point is that, have you ever been in a point in your life that you feel like stuck? Now, I deal with it all the time, again. And it's not necessarily with relationships, more or like finances, that kind of stuff. It's with your health. So here's the thing. I know a lot of people are sitting at home, maybe kind of struggling. Maybe they were on a good, healthy path, and then this whole quarantine thing threw them kind of in a downward spiral. They're eating more snacks, they're drinking more wine, they're not exercising, they can't go to the gym, they can't work out, they're putting weight on, they're disgusted, they know the summer's coming, they want to put on a bathing suit, can't do any of those things. I know there's this feeling of being stuck. I remember that back in that story, that point of being completely stuck. And, I have a second part of the story, so you need to hang on, and it's really, really good. So instead of going somewhere, first off, the point of this, the first things you realize, are you going somewhere you don't need to go? Like, if it's with your health, are you going down that road in, say, maybe the last 10 years, and you've been stuck over the last 10 years in poor health? Maybe, and forget the quarantine, maybe it's 5-10 years leading up to this, and you're stuck. You have 30, 40, 50, 60 plus pounds of weight on your body, or maybe you don't know what to do. Maybe you've tried and failed so many times that you feel like it's just pointless. Nothing's going to work for me. And you feel stuck, like my poor friend who was stuck up on that fence. right? And you're like, I can't get down, I can't go over to the other side. I'm in a loss. And again, this could be related to a number of different things: your finances, your work, relationships, like all those things. But I'm just sharing with you what I know full well, because I deal with it on a hourly basis, sometimes daily basis, with a number of clients that come to me and they're stuck and they're struggling. And they're stuck, almost caught in that barbed wire at the top of that fence, and they went somewhere they know they shouldn't have gone. They started to go down that road to not take care of their health, and now it's catching up to them now that they're older, 40s and 50s, and they're at that point. And again, I don't want this to be related just about health and fitness, but you ever feel stuck sometimes, right? Like, yeah, stuck. So here's the thing. The two things that I want to make a point for today, and this encouragement to you, is to first maybe come to the realization that you're stuck. But even beforehand, even if like coming now, going into like maybe looking at the light coming out of this quarantine, and who knows how long that'll be, and what as far as normal is going to look like after, or a new normal it may look like to you coming out of this. But a lot of people are going to be stuck. And I would say, is first off, is to look at where you're at, observe kind of where you're at. And it can be a number of things. Like I said, relationships, finances, your health, all those types of things. And even more so, those are just kind of the top three that I think of. And you don't have to stay stuck. How did my friend get down from the fence that you knew he shouldn't have been? He got help from parents who probably have seen things like that before, maybe have done that before, had the experience, and obviously the knowing how to get a kid off of a barbed wire fence. And he got down and he was okay. And and he got help. We got help. What did I do? I went and ran and got some help from my parents. So maybe that's the only missing link, is that you don't have the help that you need. You haven't maybe realized that it's going to require somebody to help you who knows how to get you down off the fence, or maybe to pull you to the other side, whatever that looks like for you. Again, and I don't know what that looks like for you. But that's the other thing. Here's the other thing. There's really three parts. The other thing is to make sure before you start climbing, not that you don't, because it looks like fun on the other side, right? Is to make sure you're climbing up the right fence or climbing up the right wall, whatever you want to say right here, right? Climbing up the wall or the fence is being sure before you climb up that fence. Maybe that's in enjoying delicious foods and enjoying and not caring about saying, oh, you know what, I'm pretty healthy. I'll just wait till my kids get old. I'll just wait till the timing's right to start taking better care of myself. Right now, I got to take care of everybody else. I don't have the time to take care of myself. Right now, I don't have the time to exercise. All my kids' needs come before those. And I get it, but here's the deal. I've talked about this all the time. You got to put your oxygen mask on first, right? In order for you, think about this. If you're helping your kids climb the fence first or go over to what they need to do, and you're the last one, maybe you're not going to have enough energy to go over that fence yourself. Have you ever thought about that? So the second part to this, is, instead of climbing the fence, now here's the second part of the story, which is really, really great. And I hope you listen to it. It's really, really good. The same friend. Now, if you haven't watched you got to go back and watch the beginning of it, because it's well worth it. My friend who climbed the fence, got stuck on the fence and had to come down, and that whole feeling of stuck. Now, he was also the same friend. And you have now, when you were a kid, did you have a screen door on your door? So did you have the door like your regular door, you have the lock and stuff, and then you have a screen door, right? So summertime, at least up north, we had these screen doors, because when the summer came, it was cool and you want the breezes to come in, and we had these screen doors, and it was like just a little mesh screen, not as fancy as they are now, but even so, they can go through. My same friend who would come over would never knock, he would push on the screen. He would push on the screen to go through the door. Like he would push it to open the door, come through it. And I remember one time he ran through the screen, but here's the thing, like he ran through it, but guess what? He got through the other side. He didn't need help. He didn't need to climb. He went through it. Now, mind you, it wasn't the necessarily best way, but it was the fastest way. And that's what I always say is, in light, maybe that wasn't the best thing for my parents, because they had to keep replacing the screen on the door, but he got through and he got to hang out with his friend, and nothing held him up. He wasn't stuck on the top of he wasn't stuck up here on the top of the fence on that barbed wire. He got through the screen. He got to go to me. And when you're a young kid, the parents are like, oh, can you not go through the door? Can you just go through? No, he went through. So that's what I like to think of when you get the right help. When you get the right help, you're able to sometimes not even have to climb the fence. Sometimes you don't even have to get stuck. In fact, sometimes you can go right through the door. Maybe it's not the necessarily for as far as going through a screen door, maybe the destructive way to do it, but you can get through it, right? And sometimes you have to take action. My friend wanted to hang out and he went through the door, and I sometimes feel like that's what I do for people, is I help them not have to climb the big fence. I pull them on the other side or help them down from the fence, pull them off of that barbed wire, help them get unstuck. But then also when it comes to getting them on a healthier path, getting them to lose that weight they want and to keep it off forever, get on a healthier path without having to do crazy long workouts, to get involved in any kind of crazy diets. I see them now in the scrolls. Hey, I'm doing this quick fix, doing this cleanse, and doing this thing. And I know where people are going to be at because they're not going to talk about it a couple of weeks from now or maybe a month or two. They're going to maybe have a little success and then they're going to go off the rails because they didn't build habits. They didn't do it the right way. They're going to end up getting stuck and then they may stay up on that fence and they may stay there for a long time because they're not asking for help. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you to encourage you. First, to give you a good story. I hope this story you enjoyed. He went through that door. He got through that. And that's where I feel sometimes with the help that I provide to the clients that come into my world to ask for help, is to help them get through. And I'm going to help them open the door, teach them how to open the door well. But sometimes it's just breaking through, if you will, so to speak, a screen just to go through it. Forget climbing the fence, just get through it the easiest and fastest way possible. And I want to share with you, because there was a bit of scripture, and then that's what it was going to be. Sorry, I have to pull it up here. I have this in my hand. So the Bible, there's a Bible verse that I pulled up. And think of this, it does require power. It does require having the power to be able to get help, to ask for help, to have the strength to maybe, if you're climbing up the fence, to make sure you don't get stuck on a barbed wire, to actually get help coming down. It required power for my parents to get that kid down. It required power for him to go through the door. It requires power. And I would say, this really struck me, Isaiah 40:29. I'm going to read this real quick. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Even youths will become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will walk and not faint. And I just felt that just such a compelling verse from Isaiah, talking about power. God gives you the power. You have the power, even if you don't feel like you can get off of that fence. Maybe you feel stuck or in like that barbed wire, like my friend. And sometimes the power doesn't necessarily come from your own efforts, or even a coach for that matter. Sometimes the power needs to come from the God who's up top. And if you don't know, about him, it is truly an amazing, it's been life-changing for me. Sometimes when I feel like I'm weak and powerless and feel like I'm stuck, or maybe up on that barbed wire, or not knowing how to get to tomorrow, not knowing what's going to hold true, as I hold true to God providing the power, when I feel weak. And, if you're stuck right now, if you're stuck on that barbed wire, on that fence, maybe stuck not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring, or your next steps, or how to improve your health, or maybe your finances, or your work environment, or your relationships, or your family, or knowing what tomorrow is going to bring, whatever that is he gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. If you feel powerless, do you know God could give you that strength to provide you with the power you need for anything, be it health, be it all those other things we talked about. Isn't that amazing? And just even, made me think when I saw this, even youth will become weak and tired. Look, even people who are younger, for any young people, I know there's probably not too many young people. I say maybe 20s. If you're 20 years old, or, even younger than that, you're not on Facebook. But I would say is, even if we feel youthful, if we feel strong, I would say at any age, we still can become weak. We still can become tired. And we still can be exhausted. There's an exhausting part about this whole quarantine. At least I've felt before. Just, it's different. It feels different. There's an exhaustion. Even though I work out and I have healthy eating habits, it still can be exhausting. I feel like at the end of the day, I'm ready to rest. And I would say, but those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. So, my encouragement to you is to find the new strength maybe that you need for today, to maybe get off that fence, maybe to ask for help, maybe to run for help, maybe to not climb up that wall that maybe is a lot higher right now than, and maybe it's the wrong wall that you're climbing altogether. And I ask, and I'll pray for you that you have the strength to be able to find new strength, and that be maybe requiring you to ask for some help. And that's just, to me, it's really just God's promise that he's going to protect us and strengthen us. And again, sometimes, even if you don't have the faith, here, listen, my pursuit and my mission in life is not to just help people lose weight. It's not just to help them get healthy. It isn't. It truly isn't. It's to help provide them with more. There's more for us out there. There's greater things that are waiting for you. outside of this coronavirus. There's a better life, a healthier life. And I'll tell you, the mission that I have is to be as impactful as I can, to encourage as many as I can, to be able to allow God to use me to get to more of you. If you're listening to this, if you're encouraged by this message, this is my job well done. Now, on a side point, on a kind of side note, if there is a need for help, if you need help getting down off that health fence, if you will, if you're stuck, then of course I would love to help you there. But for this right now, to know that my encouragement to you is that I'm encouraged by God today to give me more power, give me more strength, give me more encouragement so that I can help more of you. And again, if you found this encouraging, the story, I hope you found this a fun story. It was a good story. If you didn't listen, if you're just catching on now, go back and watch it. Today, I hope your day is filled with encouragement. It is Wednesday. It's midweek. I hope you get over whatever hump you need to. And if you don't, that you seek the help that you need to get through it. And that's all I have. If this is helpful to you, if you find this helpful, if you find this encouraging, all I ask is that you send this to a friend, that you maybe share this with a friend, share this with on your page, just share some encouragement. Again, that's my only hope, is that I can use the encouragement that God's provided for me and other people that have provided for me, people that have helped me get down off the fence, get me off the barbed wire, help me break through the screen doors in life's challenges and struggles. I've had so many people that have helped me. I've invested. I have a coach who helps me and a mentor who helps me get through those things. And I hope if you don't, that you're okay asking for that kind of help that you need. So that's all I have. Take care and God bless. Talk to you later tomorrow. Daily Dose, 8 a.m. Hope to see you soon. Take care.